make it hard to go back.
By offloading it onto your computer or device of like a bigger nature, because if you have your phone, it's in your pocket, it's right there, it's basically attached to you, it's basically an organ at that point that you can just use at any time. It's basically there for you whenever you want it, whenever you need it. When you go sit for 4 seconds, you whip out your phone and you want dopamine because it's right there. If you're on a laptop, you're going to whip out your laptop in the middle of nowhere. Good luck with that. So if you set it up like that, then you can have everything on that side over there. And if you don't have the self-control, and that's, again, I'm not judging. You are where you are. If you don't have the self-control, though, to do that, maybe you should invest in a laptop or something so that you can have all the actual tools that you need in this one big toolbox rather than, this half dopamine, half tool, half bullshit in your pocket. And if you do that, then you're less likely to actually scroll and stuff. The other thing is, if you do that too, you can set up extensions, like a Chrome extension or Firefox extension, whatever browser you use, you can add an extension that blocks the YouTube feed and only lets you search for videos, only lets you and blocks all the recommendations, even the comments. There's extensions for this because this is a thing that people are partaking in online because there's a reason for it. There's a need for it because the algorithm is trying to control you. It's trying to seep into your life and trying to give you that dopamine even when you're trying to fall asleep, even when you're in the middle of a conversation, whenever it wants you to be dragged back to it like an addiction. That's why social media addiction is a thing. It wants you to drop everything and go back to it. It wants it tries to wring you out like a towel as much as it can. It wants you stuck on the platforms. It wants you using those platforms. It wants you as much as you can there. And there's nothing, like I said, if you seek out the information, if you're using them as your own beneficial tools, then it's almost a win-win. It's like a win-win situation. You can learn from these tools and you can gather the information that you need, but that only goes so far up to a point before you need to start taking action. And a lot of times it's going to be action, learn, action, learn, action, learn. As you improve and better yourself, then you will need to do that. But the thing is that if you have it on your phone, it's going to be like an easy gate right there for you. It's going to be easy access. And you don't want it to be easy access because you want to add friction in the way. You need to add friction to keep you away from doing those things. Because without any friction, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you jump back to scrolling? The friction is what makes it difficult and what makes your primal mind say, it's not even worth it. Imagine you have to drive 10 miles just to get one video. Would you do that? Just to watch one short 2-minute video or even 30-second short of TikTok or whatever? Would you drive? It's way too much. It's like, whatever, it's too much friction. I don't care enough to do that. Even though your primal mind wants it, it's like, ugh. Because your primal mind's always trying to take the most efficient path. But we can exploit that and use that for our own benefit. What you can do is uninstall the apps and even on the App Store, because sometimes you can uninstall and be like, shit, I want that. And then you'll sign back in and you will re-download the app. What you can do is set up a passcode, right? You go into the App Store, you set up a passcode or your phone settings or whatever that you require a number in order to install anything. And if you do that, then it'll make it so that you have to enter this passcode whenever you need to install anything. And then what you do, you write down a little sheet of paper, random 4-digit number, and you take that piece of paper. So you make the passcode and you write it down. and you don't remember it. You make it a random, you literally make it a random number. And you can take this piece of paper and maybe make a couple copies of it just in case and put it somewhere that's far away that you wouldn't actually go get. Even if you put it in your car, a lot of times that's too much effort. You'll be on you'll be sitting and you'll be like, I don't want to go out there. It's too cold outside. I have to throw on my shoes. But the more friction that you put in the way, the less likely you're going to do that. If you put it in a locker somewhere, maybe a locker in your gym, then that's really far away. But you have to do it at a level that makes sense for you because maybe you do install apps often and maybe that's productive and whatnot. So you will need the number. And if you end up memorizing the number accidentally by using it so much, keep replacing it. If that's the case, change the number every time you install a new app. You're not going to remember if you just and then I'm not looking, and you actively try to forget it. You actively try to not use it. So that can be a great method right there. If your phone's just in your pocket, you can still set up a rule for yourself that you won't look at it. I mean, yeah, does that make it easier for you to look at it? Yeah. You can also publicly commit to this, right? Where you make a commitment for however many days. It can be 30 days, it can be 60 days, 75 days, 90 days, that you're not going to scroll social media. And you update it every day. And you say, hey, I'm not going to do this. Did I succeed or lose? And make it a challenge for yourself. Or even just write it down and keep it personal for yourself. I think doing it publicly really helps because that way you're putting it out there and then you almost feel a sense of accountability to other people. A lot of times we'll do things for other people that we won't do for ourselves. And this almost takes advantage of that because even though it's not directly actually doing it for other people, you are going to feel that sense of judgment and worry of, I messed up if you don't follow through. So doing it publicly really helps there. But you don't have to. You can also do on a calendar. So you have a calendar on your wall, and then you either have check marks, green check marks, or red X's. And doing it with red and green and with colors really helps because it gives you that better dopamine. And you can direct your dopamine. Dopamine is not a bad thing if it's earned, if it's directed, and if it's controlled in a way that supports you and your environment and the way where you're wanting to go and your goals. So you can, if you do green check marks, what'll happen is after a period of time, it'll be a feeling of don't break the chain. Right? If you have check, you're doing great. Then it's like, I don't want to break the chain. And you'll feel when you pull out your phone and you're like, I'm going to, and then it's going to hit you and you're like, oh, right, the check marks. Oh, don't break the chain. And you'll feel that. And it'll be great because you'll be like, no, never mind. You put your phone face down. You'll go, whatever, do something else. There's also blockers on phones too that will block social media and all this stuff. And you could use those. There's also, in case you're like, well, what if I log into a browser? I need a browser of some sort. There's apps that are basically minimalist browsers that you can't do really anything and blocks all social media. And all you can do is search and basically just basic things. And it will pretty much block out everything else. Now, you can't rely on it fully. You can't just put all your eggs into that and say, hey, okay, cool. I don't need to worry about it anymore. Whatever. I'm just going to use that browser. Then it'll stop me. Because, again, there's a chance you'll re-enable your browser or you'll just say, you'll find loopholes and whatnot. You need to have a little bit of that grit in order to stop yourself. If you enjoyed this video, you can watch the full version right here.